It's a grand old morning. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. Hang on now, stall the ball. The sun is shining in Ireland in the middle of October. No. Something's not right with that now. Am I dreaming, am I? Oh Jesus, I'm dreaming. Christ almighty. 'Tis all blurry. Am I langers or what? I can't see. What in the name of Jesus is going on here? It's good drying weather out there. I should probably get the washing on. What the? I'm blind. I can't see. Oh. Feck's sake. I'm after making a right bags of this dream now. And I've only gone and had a lucid dream. Now I'm going to feck and wake up. Well, shite. Bollocks. Tis yourself. Welcome back. So, we've talked about what lucid dreaming is and how to start having them. Now, if you Eejits are lucky, some of you might have had a moment or two where you suddenly came to this amazing realization that you were in a dream. This profound experience where your consciousness was transported into another world. You finally become lucid after weeks or months of trying, and then it's over. Just like that. Now, let me know in the comments if this has happened to you. There are many ways a lucid dream can end prematurely. Sometimes it's gradual and the dream becomes increasingly unstable as it falls apart or fades away around you. Other times it jolts you awake or into a black void, or you simply lose your lucidity and continue about the dream unconsciously. There are also many reasons why this might happen, and some people claim to have all the answers on how to remain in the dream. Now, I'm going to start this video with a bit of a warning. Our subconscious mind is very sensitive and it takes everything in. The narratives of both our lucid and non-lucid dreams are heavily influenced by expectation. If you come across articles or videos telling you to do or not to do something because it will impact your dream in a certain way, then it most likely will. Because of this, it's hard to say if any technique is really beneficial or if it just works because you believe it'll work. And you don't want to become reliant on an extra step that's unnecessary. So, I find it best to approach the topic of dream stabilisation with some caution. Just keep an open mind and take everything you hear with a nice big, healthy pinch of salt. Do you know? Try to forget about anything negative that you might have been led to believe. It's better to wipe the slate clean of all superstitions and figure things out for yourself. Most of the time, this advice is just misinformation that's been perpetuated online over many years, and there's no real logic to them at all. I'll talk about a lot of these common lucid dreaming myths and misconceptions in another video, so make sure you're subscribed to learn more about them. For now though, we're just going to focus on what we do know. So there are a few legitimate reasons why a dream might become unstable. First of all, and many people don't consider this and they get frustrated when it happens over and over again, but it's quite common for a lucid dream to occur just as we come out of REM. Remember that all-important sleep stage necessary for dreaming? REM can't go on indefinitely, and if there's no better explanation for a dream suddenly ending, then there's a good chance that it's just the timing. Your body is good at adapting to your daily schedule. You may have already noticed this. If you have a consistent 24-hour sleep-wake cycle or circadian rhythm, you'll often find yourself waking up right before your alarm is due to go off. This natural awakening can cause a spike in awareness, which leads to a higher likelihood of lucid dreams occurring towards the end of your sleep cycle. This can understandably cause some frustration when your dream fades away despite your best efforts to remain asleep. There's not much you can do about this, just understand and accept that it can happen. With time and continued practice, however, you can learn to recognize your dreams earlier and stay lucid for longer. It's also possible that your dream disappears simply because your sleep has been disturbed by some external influence. This could be your alarm, sunlight coming in through the window, or maybe just the Eejit next door taking the piss with their power tools. So if you feel this kind of thing is interfering with your sleep in the morning, take some preventative measures like invest in a sleep mask or some heavier curtains, earplugs, noise-cancelling headphones, or a white noise app for your phone. Now, I use the term white noise loosely, as do most of these apps. They offer serene soundscapes of rainfall, a crackling campfire, or ocean waves. This isn't true white noise, but it can still effectively mask other sounds and aid in undisturbed sleep. There are other colours too, like pink noise and grey noise, with different benefits. Feel free to do your own research into that in the meantime. I might get back to it in another video, but for now, let's not get bogged down. Once you rule out these causes of dream instability, there are still some techniques that you can try from within the dream. Now, as I've said before, a lot of guides out there suggest that as soon as you become lucid, you have to fight this constant battle to stay in the dream. I personally disagree with this approach, and I'll explain why. So, I've already given you two very common reasons why a dream might start to fade. You've reached the end of your REM stage, or your sleep has been disturbed. In both instances, it's an outside force that's out of your control while you were in the dream. Aside from these forces, there's only one other reason why you might start to wake up from a lucid dream, and that's you, Eejit. You need to understand that it's all in your head, and it's so easy to plant a negative seed of expectation that will grow into unhelpful habits further into your lucid dreaming practice. There's no guarantee that any one dream stabilisation technique will work, or if they have any effect at all, or if it's just placebo. There's a term in psychology called ironic process theory, which suggests that the more you try to suppress a thought, the more likely it is to surface. It's like when someone says, "Don't think of a pink elephant." Well, what did you bleeding expect to happen? You'll see pink elephants all over the gaff. The same can be said then for a lucid dream. If you approach it thinking only about how to stop it from ending, you're just going to spend the whole dream fighting these intrusive and unhelpful notions. It's a waste of time and energy. It distracts from the experience, and it will probably end the dream prematurely. So, how do we get around this? The study of ironic process teaches us that the best thing to do is not to suppress these thoughts, but to allow them in, to accept them as what they are, but recognize that they are not destined to come to pass. This is easier said than done, of course, and like any mental or physical exercise, you will get better at this with time. You need to realize, though, that even knowing this information, sometimes in your dream you will not have the same control, memory, or mental fortitude to deal with these worries appropriately. The best way to train your mind to behave the way you want to in your dreams is to practice while awake. So I highly recommend looking into meditation and incorporating it into your daily routine. Meditation is something that also deserves its own video. I'm not an expert in this field myself, but it's one of those things that's easy to pick up, difficult to master. Not difficult in the sense that it requires skill, but more that you consistently practice for years and years. Training your mind with meditation is like building muscle in the gym. There's no point in just doing it once a week or taking breaks when it gets too hard. You have to push through for the real benefits. Now, nobody is forcing you to practice meditation, and you can lucid dream without it. But even from my limited experience with meditation, I can see how complementary it can be to lucid dreaming. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Meditation is built around the idea of not forcing your thoughts out, but allowing them to come and go, recognizing when your mind starts to wander and bringing your attention back. What about you? Do you meditate? Let me know down there. Problematic thoughts aren't always as obvious as just thinking about your dream ending. It's ultimately where they lead, but it helps to identify other starting points. For example, it's common to become excited or anticipate something you want to try in your lucid dream, especially if it is a bit cheeky, you know. You might become anxious or try to rush to achieve your goal before you wake up, and there it is. The magic words. Wake up. But have you woken up? Everything goes black, and you might even feel like you're lying in bed. But remember, your mind likes to trick you back into a non-lucid dream, so try to perform a reality test at this point. False awakenings are very common when a lucid dream becomes unstable, because these trains of thought we're discussing lead to the expectation of waking up. So stall the ball for a second. If you're patient and you can remain focused and aware, a new dream might come to light amidst the darkness. It's exhilarating to recognize a false awakening like this and continue with your lucid dream. You can have some long and fulfilling dreams by doing this. Another stumbling block you could encounter is not necessarily dream destabilizing, but you could lose your lucidity, and the dream might just continue on without your consciousness being present to the same extent. You might lose control, lose focus, or forget what you were trying to do. Many people get frustrated by this aspect of lucid dreaming. They think that somehow they're going to have some heightened sense of awareness, but the reality is you can only be as lucid in your dream as you are in waking life. We lose track of reality many times over every single day. Only by performing regular reality tests and being more mindful and aware during the day can you improve the quality of your lucid dreams. It also helps to test your dream state as soon as you become lucid, to remind yourself that everything is a dream. Otherwise, you can forget this critical fact and become distracted by the dream's apparent realism, immersed in the story. This is completely harmless. The only downside is it stops being a lucid dream and it becomes a regular dream. And we're all about the old lucid dreams around here. Another way to avoid becoming distracted after becoming lucid is to prepare some goals for yourself beforehand. It helps to keep you on track and remember everything you wanted to do in there, because lucid dreams can still be lacking in logic or control, especially for beginners, and you don't want to go off on a tangent and forget about what you really wanted to try. It also helps to set more simple goals to start with. You don't want to overexert or excite yourself in your first few lucid dreams, as they will end abruptly and it will only demotivate you. So far, I've only discussed indirect methods for improving your dream stability, things to remember and daytime exercises. The problem with the more direct techniques that can be applied from within the dream, as I've said before, is that it's hard to tell the good ones from the bollocks. There's limited evidence for even the most popular ones. I mean, I could tell you that if you hop on one leg and turn counterclockwise 5 times while singing The Fields of Athenry, that it will prolong your dream. And if you believe it, it might just be enough to work most of the time. So you might be wondering, then what's the problem? If it works, it works. Well, if all you need to do is believe, then is it not better to just believe that you don't need a crazy or complicated ritual every time you feel a dream beginning to fade? You see, sometimes it can cause more harm than good, as you begin to panic and you scramble to try one technique after another. If they don't help at this point, maybe you're just destined to wake up for whatever reason. If you are a lucid dreamer and you don't use any techniques to prolong your dreams, I'd be interested in hearing from you. So get in touch down there in the comments, like, you know yourself. Now, I've studied and practiced many techniques myself, and admittedly, I still find myself using them from time to time. Unfortunately, I can't wipe what I've learnt from my memory, so sometimes I just do them without even thinking. But then, occasionally, I'll have this long, amazing, uninterrupted lucid dream that I don't need to stabilise, and it makes me wonder if it's really necessary at all, or if it's just down to circumstance when the dream will end. There are a couple of these direct techniques that still deserve to be mentioned though. I feel like they make sense in some way, scientifically or psychologically, and hold some merit because of this. Just keep in mind what I said before, that you may not need to do any of this, or it may not help, and the dream could just as easily continue or end regardless of what you do. The best ones tend to incorporate the intensifying of physical sensations within the dream, which kind of focuses all of your attention towards your dream body and away from your sleeping body. You can do this by engaging all of your senses in the dream world. Feel the dream ground beneath you, look closely at some intricate dream details, eat some dream food, or smell the dream air. You basically want to reinforce the illusion of the dream around you, but at the same time remind yourself that you are lucid dreaming, or you run the risk of slipping back into unconsciousness. Now, your man Stephen LeBurge discovered this other nifty trick and did extensive experimentation to support his findings. What he found out was, if he tried spinning around on the spot upon feeling his dream begin to fade, he would find himself in a new lucid dream 85% of the time. For this reason, it's also a popular method for transporting yourself into a new dream scene. Some things to note about this technique: after spinning, you may find yourself in a blank space, or even your bedroom, so it's helpful to perform a reality test to avoid succumbing to a false awakening and losing lucidity. LeBurge also warned that sometimes while spinning, he felt his arm hit the mattress and was sure he had woken up, but then realised he was still dreaming, so always remain vigilant and do those reality tests. Now, I've also managed to solidify my lucid dreams in the past by rubbing and clapping my hands, stamping my feet, shouting, and even singing. But I could have merely been influenced by other people's accounts, which are purely anecdotal, and there's no guarantee that these will work for you. So that just about covers it. I hope this helps you have longer and more vivid lucid dreams. Tell me about the longest lucid dream you've had in the comments. And then when you've done that, would you ever just like and subscribe and click the bell? For the love of God, you have me bait from going on about it. Bye now. Bye bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Follow me on Twitter. Bye 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 bye. Both accounts, please. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye.